It was the drama that you expect in teenage life. And then some of us started noticing into our 20s that there was this continued addiction to drama. And we'd find ourselves in very interesting situations where you'd have the possibility of a relationship that was perhaps actually quite healthy and stable and good. And we would talk amongst ourselves about why was it that we never wanted that? Why was it that even when the universe offered something that was actually really quite good, nice guy, stable, peaceful, calm, no drama, it felt so boring inside? And we'd find ourselves back in these very dramatic, up and down, clearly not good for us, relationships. Now, even at that age, in our early 20s, we were introspective and insightful enough to be able to say to ourselves and to each other, what is it we're running away from? Like, why is it that this drama in our relationships, why is it so important? And fortunately, be able to actually make healthy choices for our lives. But I share that example, one, because it's something I have personal experience with, but B, because it mirrors a lot of times of our life where you can see that there's an option that's so much better for me, emotionally, spiritually, physically in some cases. And yet, there's a deeper goal. In our case, the deeper goal was not to have to look within ourselves, not to have to see the stuff inside that we didn't want to see. And when you're in the midst of passion and drama, like, you don't have to sit quietly and look at yourself. Because, oh my God, the relationship takes up all your energy. And so it's a great defense mechanism. In the same way, you see it a lot with people making decisions around healthy eating or exercise or other healthy patterns in life. We have a desire to be healthy, but a lot of us have a more subconscious, unconscious, self-sabotaging habit that has to do with proving that we're not actually worthy of health. Now, I know this is going into kind of depth psychology, but it's important when we really look and try to understand ourselves. So many of us have that sense of you're not worthy of vibrant health. You're not worthy of deep happiness. You're not worthy of enlightenment. Therefore, I'm going to sabotage my commitment to exercising every day or meditating every day, so that I can prove that my ego is right, that I don't deserve it, that I'm a failure, that I'm a mess up, that I'm not spiritual, that I'm not desirable if it's a physical thing. And that's why it's important if you find that you keep making these sorts of resolutions and you can't keep them. It's not always just a willpower issue. A lot of times there's a much deeper subconscious, unconscious, self-sabotaging energy, a deeper desire than the desire to be healthy. And in this case, I think a lot of us have very deep, unconscious desires for a lot of money, for a lot of power, for a lot of popularity. We really want to be liked, not just by one or two people, but by like lots of people. We want to be respected, we want power, we want money. And when you go back into a situation where you're being pulled, do this for more money, do this for more power, do this or your group of friends won't like you anymore. It's very hard to stay focused and anchored in the spiritual desire of the spiritual connection until and unless you look at, acknowledge, and deal with the other deep unconscious desires around materialism, around respect, around being liked. And there's nothing wrong, by the way, with desiring those things. It's just important to know, I've got this deep-seated emptiness that I ignorantly think that money is going to fill. Something to be aware of. I've got this deep-seated emptiness that somehow I feel like a huge friend circle is going to fill. Being really popular is going to make me not feel so empty. And it's important to notice that, because then whenever those voices rise up and say, you don't have time to meditate, you got to get to the office or these guys are going to get ahead of you. The promotion's going to go to someone else. You'll be nowhere. If you're not aware of those other unconscious desires and voices, you're just going to jump up from your meditation, you're going to listen to it, and you're going to bolt for the office. But if you're aware of it, then you can look at it and you can say, that's just the voice that I've internalized from this culture that tells me that more is better, that success is equivalent to money, that my worthiness is based on how big my house is or how many cars I have. And you can look at it and then decide, I don't want to follow you. Because I actually have a desire that is deeper and more powerful and actually brings more joy, more peace. And that desire is for spiritual anchoring. But if you're unaware of these other desires, then you've lost. Because then the whole thing happens unconsciously and you're not even aware of why you're not meditating, why you're spending 90 hours a week at the office, why you're thinking about the office even when you're not at the office, why you've got to go to this wedding or this party or that dinner because, oh my God, if not, you might not be there when the discussion about the contract takes place or whatever it is. But if we don't see and know these inner desires, inner fears, inner senses of lack, inner ignorances, then we're unaware of when they hijack our life. And this is where the second part, so that was all intention. What is my highest intention? And then listen deeper. Is there a voice in me that has a goal that is different than the goal I've just stated? And notice that. And then, awareness. Awareness when that unconscious goal is hijacking your life. You notice it. That's this fear. That's this desire. That's this indoctrination. I see it, I notice it, but I'm not going to listen to it. I'm going to go with my conscious, higher goal. And that's the only way to make it happen. It's all about just constantly staying aware, remembering. And the last piece is tie in remembering to as much as you possibly can. Build a life in which you are reminded of your higher goal and your true self throughout your day. Every time before you drink a glass of water. It's not that you have to do a whole prayer with lots and lots of mantras. Just, you pick it up. And just before you drink, just a moment. Just take a moment and anchor. Let it be just a signal. Before you eat food, you're just about to eat, just take a moment. Just a moment of anchoring, a moment of remembrance. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Tie the remembrance into something you do throughout the day. Every time before you, check your text messages. Every time before you open WhatsApp. Every time, whatever it is. But if you can join those two things together, it'll take you a couple of days for it to become a habit. But it'll become a habit quite quickly, and then it stays a habit. I can't remember the last time I ate something without stopping to anchor, to pray, to remember. It took a while in the beginning to build up the habit. I didn't come here with the habit of saying grace or a prayer before meals. It took a while. But now it's like it doesn't matter where I am. It doesn't matter who I'm sitting in front of. It's automatic. It'll become like that very quickly. Tie it into as much as you can. Yeah, beautiful. Other questions? Yes, please.
Pranam Sadhviji.
Pranam.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
My name is Manan. I am from Gujarat. There are many individuals who are having severe to profound intellectual disability since birth.
I'm so sorry, there are many?
Individuals who are having either severe or profound mental retardation or intellectual disability since birth.
Yes.
They can't understand or perform anything. They are almost completely dependent on their caregivers.
Yes.
What is the way forward, or what is the karma yoga in this birth or this journey? Or is it the temporary pause in their journey of their soul?
So, all of the challenges that we're born with, physical challenges, mental challenges, emotional challenges, logistic challenges, poverty, being born in a war zone, being born in a place where you're a girl, in a place where girls are not allowed to have an education. There's lots of challenges. Every one of the challenges that we're born with is something that we've been given because that situation is going to be the most conducive for us to work through our karmic package. That's why it's given to us. It is not a punishment. It is not a reward. It is simply a situation in which we have the highest likelihood of having the challenges, lessons, experiences that we need to become free in this lifetime. That's why they are given to us. Some of the challenges are ones that will stay with us forever. Some are ones we are meant to overcome quickly. But the entire package deal of where we're born, when we're born, to whom we're born, our parents, our race, our religion, our gender, our physical characteristics, all of that is a set design, a costume design, a character treatment, you could say, for the role that we are playing on Earth. You know, if you know anything about Bollywood or Hollywood or Tollywood or, you know, any entertainment industry, when actors or actresses are given a role, they don't just get a script, they get a whole treatment of the character. Let's say that I've been given a role to play of someone who's 30 years old, let's say, and the entire movie spans my 30th year and my 31st year. That's it. But the treatment of my character is going to give me where she was born, what her childhood was like, all of that, so that as an actress, my lines are only spoken for somebody who's 30 years old. But long before I get on the stage, in the costumes that have been very carefully pre-picked out for me, it's not like they show up on the set and the costume designer's like, "Acha chalo dekhte kya hai apne paas aaj, kya saaf hai, chalo ye pehno." What fits? They're designed and tailored specifically what is the right costume for this character. And what did she experience in the first 30 years of her life that have created the personality of the character that I walk into the scene with today at 30 years old? In the same way, before our body even comes out of our mother's womb, before we start having any action, any karma, the set has been laid. It's all there. Who the other actors are going to be, what the scene is going to look like, what our horoscope is going to be. Is it a wealthy house? Is it a poor house? Is it a rainy day? Is it a sunny day? What's the dynamics of the other characters in the drama? As the actress, I may not know what scene 2 carries, but the scriptwriter knows. The scriptwriter is not writing it as it goes along. It's not like we do, scene 1 and then the scriptwriter is like, ab kya kare? Usko to pehle se malum hai the entire story. They know. This is how it is with the karmic incarnation. We may not know, but the divine knows. And then, of course, as we start doing our own actions, our own karmas, then it starts being kind of an interesting blend of a pre-written drama and improv. Some stuff is pre-planned, and a whole bunch of it is just what we do, up to us in the moment, free will. And that free will determines what the next scene is going to be. But in terms of your question and coming into this earth as we're born with it, well, it's all the preset design, costume, role, everything that's been really hand-chosen for us. I mean, if you look at the work of a really good casting director, working with a really good screenwriter and a really good director, and they pick the cream of the crop. You think of these really big blockbuster movies that have 5, 6, 7, 10 super famous, super talented actors and actresses. Any of them theoretically could play any role. They're that good. But the good casting director and the good director and screenwriter knows, yeah, I know she could play any of these roles, but this role is actually going to be the best for her. I know he could play any role, but this particular role is going to bring out the best of his skills, his abilities. And so think about the divine doing it like that. Yeah, we could theoretically be born anywhere and go through our karmic journey anywhere. But the divine is really pre-planning this, like what's going to be the best situation to have exactly the right challenges, exactly the right situations that give us exactly the right lessons to blossom and unfold and move forward in exactly the way that we're meant to. Great. Have a beautiful rest of your evening. A beautiful morning and day to our families from all over the world joining online. And I hope and look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow. And so much love to you all.